Folks, welcome to OTD, also known as On the Deck, where you can get all the sports you need in 10 minutes. My name is Adam. We're doing this. This is my mom, Gina.
He is the journalist.
She's the enthusiast.
She's extremely enthusiastic because she's feeling better.
Yes.
I'm speaking of myself in the third person.
I was about to say,
she's feeling better.
She's sitting here.
Gina is well. And we had a fun bunch of sports to talk about.
Yes,
so exciting.
We have our weekly sports update, and we've got a lot of things that have really happened here over the last week or so. And so let's talk about the first things first. I want to actually talk about baseball to start out. And with baseball season already starting, we've got spring training that has taken place for the last month and change now. And so I think with baseball right now, we've got all of these opening days that have taken place this week. And it's really been overshadowed because we've had spring training on TV every day.
Right.
And we had the WBC, the World Baseball Classic, which we all were really excited for because
we
the
won.
United States won.
Yeah.
And it was great that we, did that, but it was kind of like this kind of carryover into opening day. So we have all these opening days happening, and it's kind of like a lull. It's like a dud. No one is like that interested because it's like, well, we've been watching baseball for the last month and a half already.
It's also, I think that's part of it is the timing. So basically the story of the week is that baseball started opening day and people were watching it. First of all, it was over the weekend with the Final Fours,
right,
which I don't know if that always overlaps. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It did. And then, like you said, there was a lot of baseball on TV. I watched a lot of spring training games. I watched the WBC, glued to the TV. So now it's like, oh, okay. Oh, we're starting.
Now the season's kicking off.
Yeah, so it was like that. But hey, we're rolling.
Hey, it's baseball season now, and so we're excited for our Royals to finally come back home.
Yeah, because they're not doing well.
Home opener is actually next Monday.
Yeah.
So we played the Twins yesterday and didn't have a great outing, but we did have a good spring season. So, again, there's like a gazillion games, so who really cares?
Yay, baseball started. What's next?
So now we've got some basketball news that we want to talk about, how the Cleveland Cavaliers have started to really try to say, hey, what are we doing? It's a lot of self-check because the postseason's getting ready to start. And we've got this team imploding. And it's been going on all season, but now it's really where it matters the most. It was just 2 days ago when the Cavs were playing, and they were playing the Indiana Pacers. And Kyrie wasn't having his best game. And it was Paul George against LeBron James. And we all know from those series back when LeBron was with Miami, how Paul George and LeBron were getting after it. Well, here we go again now. LeBron is with Cleveland. Paul George is with the Pacers, and he's starting to really heat up. And it gets down to the wire, and Paul George hits a huge three. Well, there was supposed to be a switch at the top of the key between Tristan Thompson and LeBron James. Well, Paul George has got a lethal three-point shot, and he smashes it. And you see there's a timeout called, and you see the two players. You see Tristan Thompson and LeBron James getting after it. And it's like, whoa, what's going on? And they had this game went a double overtime. Everybody's tensions are high right now because they're not playing well. Like I said, Kyrie hasn't been playing great. JR hasn't been playing that well. They've been hit by the injury bug all year. And so now it's one of those situations where it's like, okay, what's going on? What are your first thoughts when you see these two elite athletes getting after it when they're on the same team?
Oh, here's my first thought. Dude, you knew this was coming. LeBron has been crying and whining. First of all, they've only had one good month out of the three, and that was the shortest month, February.
Yeah.
January was terrible. March was terrible. And you cannot get out there and blast your teammates on TV, blast the front office. We too top heavy. No, they're too soft. I'm not soft. They soft. Blah, 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 and not have it blow up in your face. So I loved it. I love seeing Tristan get up in LeBron's face. Yeah, you got bounced off a pick. It happens.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be calling out your teammates all the time. Then they tried to clean it up on the back end in the post-game interviews.
Yeah.
I would love to see what the Celtics do. Everybody's like, oh, don't worry, the Cavs are going to win the series. I don't know. Because it's like you practice bad, you play bad. You play bad, you play bad. So we'll see. I loved it.
Yeah, well, it was just one of those situations where it's like, okay, well, you don't really want that going into postseason as
well, they only have like
a
week left of the regular season, so good luck fixing all of that.
Well, as we're continuing to talk about seasons, the MLB season, you got the NBA postseason. Now we've got golf season here.
Yes, the Masters.
We got the par 3 challenge on Wednesday, which will be fun. It's always cool. You get to see the drivers and the chips and the chip-ins and the putter challenges, and so it's really cool to see all that stuff. And so it's really a big intro to the Masters.
Yes,
it's always fun to watch and get invested in. So
nobody would have thought that we both play golf. Our family plays golf, but watching it on TV, let's be honest, it was a bore. You'd put it on to catch a nap. It's like I sleep better when MLB is on. But golf, the Masters especially, they've done a really good job. We've talked about this before, of editing it and letting you really see an exciting golf tournament.
Right.
And I've enjoyed it. Last year, we were hollering back and forth up and down the stairs last year. So no Tiger Woods this year, which is, I think, a relief. I think people are like, oh, are the ratings going to drop? The ratings will always go up if Tiger's on, but at the end of the day, I think the Masters will be fine, and it's fun, and it'll be a good time the next 3-4 days of it.
Yeah,
so.
it'll be fun. And so we do want to talk about something that happened the other day that took place in the ANA tournament that was televised.
Right.
A viewer called in as Lexi Thompson was getting ready to putt, and she put down her marker for her ball, and somebody sitting at home, obviously they're anonymous, somebody called in or emailed the committee or called the officials at the tournament and said that she illegally picked up and moved her ball.
Well, that she didn't put the pin. Yeah, the pin and the ball weren't in the same spot.
The ball was supposed to be, and she got a 4-stroke penalty on that round, and it costed her. And
well, because she was up by 3 strokes.
Right.
I mean, you're talking about Lexi. She's the most famous women's golfer right now. So she's up by 3 strokes. Somebody reviews it the next day, by the way, and assesses her a 4-stroke penalty. So now she's down by 1 and she ends up losing.
Yeah.
I think that's ridiculous. And golf, we're talking about the seasons. Golf, you can play all year round all over the world. But, for us, the Masters kind of kicks off that good, fun springtime golf.
Yes.
And that was a bad look, especially for women's sports. We don't need any, but you know what? People are talking about it, so maybe people will watch a little bit more.
It's just unfortunate because that's kind of one of those things. It's like, should someone be able to call in and make a ruling from their couch or their rocking chair or something like that?
No, if the officials don't catch it
miles away, like, come on.
It was clearly on TV, so they need to have their own officials there reviewing it and assess it. If it had been assessed within an hour or so because their own officials were reviewing it, that would be one thing. But to have a viewer do it and then assess the penalty the next day, it's ridiculous. And people are like, well, it's a 4-day tournament. What if it happened on the 4th day? You can't go undo it.
Well, it's like in any other sport. It's like in football. If you see an old lineman barely move and the refs don't flag it, what are you going to do? Call the people at the game? Be like, hey, that old lineman moved. That should be a false start. No, you're not going to do that. It was a missed call, and you just move on.
What? That's as bad of an idea as Arkansas trying to let people bring guns into their stadium, which was another news story this week. Luckily, it got voted down 70-20 in the House in Arkansas. I'd love to know who the 20 people were who thought that was a good idea. Never clearly been to a football game.
Unbelievable.
Well, speaking of football, we might quit testing for weed.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
I mean, well, it's definitely something that Cowboys owner Jerry Jones has brought up to the rest of the owners. There's over the last couple of weeks they've had all these rulings. The Raiders had their movement, and the head coaches had their big meetings and stuff like that. And so Jerry Jones brought it up like, hey guys, let's just stop testing.
Right.
More than 50% of our players use it for whatever reason. And it's hurting our product.
And it's legal in 8 of the states where we have teams. So I don't know that will actually happen, but stranger things have happened. Tony Romo's now going to be a CBS analyst. Thankfully, Dak Prescott's over there doing this right now.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't even want to speak too much on the Tony Romo stuff because the last time we said something about Tony Romo, it was all false. So
no, but we got given false information. But last but not least, congratulations, University of North Carolina men's and South Carolina women's for bringing home the national champions.
That's huge
news. It's been a big week in sports.
All the basketball champions over this month of March.
Did you feel that cold air just roll through?
It is cold. We need to go in because I think we're about to get some rain.
I think so too.
We want to say we appreciate your time. Continue to follow us on all of our social media. Please like our Facebook page, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and continue to follow us on Twitter. We're glad Mom is back and feeling better. We want to say we appreciate your time and thanks for watching, folks.
Thanks, Facebook.